Greetings, one and all. Nicky Smile 123, or at Nicky Smile 123, asked me. He said he had the opportunity, I think, to get a M600 Beyerdynamic. Now, these are quite rare. Let me put that down because it adjusts the lighting, as you've just seen. These are quite rare, but he seems to have an opportunity to get one for £140. Okay. And then he's got the opportunity, it seems, for the M88TG. You know I prefer the other one, or the newer one, which is quite, more expensive than that. Anyway, new at a discount for $303, and it's for a bass-baritone voice. And he said to me, what do I think? I'm going to throw in one more. It doesn't go for all that much usually, which is the M700. Now, as it happens, unless I'm mistaken, all three of these mics have Hostafan diaphragm. Hostafan diaphragm. So we can expect them to be quite fast. So, let's just go across. So I'll start with the TG M88, which I think is here. Yes, it is. Yeah, you've got to be a bit careful with that, with the pops. You can get a dedicated little thingy, because I've got it right in front of me. Of course, normally I'd have it to one side, but there it is. Well, it's been in the case, so it's a bit. Can you see it? Kind of fits on. Looks a bit odd. Anyway, so be careful with it, maybe. What do you reckon to this for a bass baritone? What do you think 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 M88 for a? What do you think M88 for a? What do you think M88 for a? What do you think M88? What do you think M600? 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 What do you think M88? Clumsy. What do you think M88? 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 Yeah. What do you think M600? Yeah. What do you think M600? What do you think M600? Yeah. What do you think M600? What do you think M700? 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 I've noticed something which I knew about the M700, and that is got quite a lift up there, but it is quite sweet. I think this Hostafan stuff, I quite like it, but it has got a bit of that, and it does mean that the middle, as you can hear, it wants to the whole time. The middle can be a bit sunk, but then you can take it away. So really, if you want the middle without too much of the bass, you have to hold it quite a distance, and it's a bit of a low output. So bear that in mind. Anyway, you weren't really asking about the M700. Bring the M700 in. What's the real low end like? Even though you're a bass baritone, not a bass, so maybe you don't go as low as that. Bring it in here. And if I do a bit of the oh yeah, bring it right in there. So it can do all right. It's okay. It's not too soggy. Let's move on then to the M600. The M600, which is the one you're interested in, seems to me to be a little bit firmer than the 700. Yeah, hasn't got so much of that at the top there, has it? Hasn't got so much of that at the top there. Hasn't got so much of that at the 700, all that stuff up there. 600, not so much of that stuff up there. It's a bit less hyped. So the 600 is good. 600's got switches on it. What do the switches do? In the case, I think all they do is cut the bass, so I don't use them. Can't find the case. 50 Hertz, 8 dB, or 50 hertz, 12 dB, or 50 hertz, 16 dB. So just, it seems to me, just obviously increasing amounts of bass cut. So I've got it flat. That's what this is like. So to me, pretty neutral. Pretty neutral. Moving across to the M88. Now I'm on the M88. Now I'm on the M88. 88, rather like the 700, has got a bit of that brooding. It's ready to do that, as we know, with the M88. It's ready to do that, as we know. It's ready to do that, as we know. It's ready to do that, as we know. Going back to the 600. 600 isn't so keen to do that, as we know. Isn't so keen to do that, as we know, though it's no slouch down there. It isn't so keen to do that, as we know. We can bring it a bit closer if we want a bit more. Isn't so keen to do that, as we know. So there we go. Back on the M88. Back on the M88, and as I go back onto it, I've got that. What about if I'm there? What about if I'm there on the M88 and don't die? What about just because you're bass baritone doesn't mean you're gonna stay the whole time? Gonna mean you're gonna stay, but we know the M88 can handle it, because Phil Collins used it. You just cut the bass, I'm sure. You just cut the bass, I'm sure. You just cut the bass, I'm sure. You just cut the bass, going to 600 is quite there. The 600 now I'm 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 600 now I'm there. 700 now I'm. Can you hear? Ow! 700 now. 700 now I'm there. 700 now I'm. 700 now I'm. 700 now I'm. 600 now I'm. 600 gotta come up. 600 now I'm there. 600 now I'm there. 600 now I'm there. 600 now I'm. M88 I'm there. M88 I'm there. Bringing it up a bit. M88 I'm there. M88 on. Just for fun, you could also consider the this is the V96R ribbon mic, which is similar to the M500. The M500. In fact, I'm going to list one of my M500s on eBay probably tomorrow. So yeah, there is that. Anyway, they're slightly different. Can you hear? Through the mid and on the top, slightly different. All of them have got enough for a bass baritone. I think they're not that truncated, which might be the issue with some things like an SM58 and so on. So I hope that's been of some help to you. And I'll see you next time. If I do list my M500, you might not be interested in it anyway. I'm going to do a video of it, because I thought that's a good way of not selling, but demonstrating a mic. Just make sure it's all working and everything, and people can hear it. And then you can, now these days on eBay, you can put a video. So I'll do a longer video on YouTube, and then take a 1-minute section that I can stick on my eBay, just so people can check to see that things are working and what they sound like. I think it's quite a good thing for selling mics, actually. So that's the plan. Anyway, see you next time.